Hello and welcome to Teacher Needs a Drink podcast. I am Elvis, your host, and I'm here to let you know this is a not safe for work podcast. We are teachers at the end of the week and the end of our ropes, and we'd like to be able to talk honestly and openly about teaching without having to, worry about losing our jobs, so we'll be using pseudonyms throughout the podcast. Teacher Needs a Drink podcast is proudly sponsored by Lud Lamb Dramatics. If you are a theater teacher or no one in your building, go to Lud Lamb Dramatics. They create resources for the theater classroom. They have the most amazing posters and wristbands and just great things. Go check out Lud Lamb Dramatics. I'd like to thank all of our patrons over at Patreon. They support us for as little as $5, $10 a month, and I'd like to give them a shout out. So here we go. A big thank you to Miss Shannon E., Helena C., Aaron B., Stephanie S., Maggie M., Texas Teacher Kristen, Miss Sunshine, Hattie F., James and Allie J., Jody D., Sam and D., Lisa C., Rachel, Tarina, Exhausted Band Director, Kimberly K., Kim K., Jessica A., Swiffle Ev Owners, Amanda F., Ariana L., Physics Runner, Melissa V., Steph, Science Teach 17, Michael M., William P., Sarah O., Aldrich T., La Scorpianita, Britt M., Iron Swine, Noel R., Teresa H., Biker Teach, Caitlin L., Marcia M., Christina B., Miss Alabama, Kristen B., Jason F., Amber H., Abby B., Ann T., Sarah B., Regina N., Josie S., Sam B., Lucy P., Mary E., Jamie B., Red Violin, Kristen W., Vanessa J., Mary C., RJR, Kristen C., Johanna H., Tony K., Irma A., Nimi, Melissa M., and Sarah N. Woo! In case you haven't picked up, my voice and my throat is kind of jacked up. I was at a conference in Memphis all week, and I decided it would be fun for me to get on one of those little rental scooters that are really dangerous to go in the street and ride around. And I went to a bar down there, and when I looked up from my drink, it had like 4 inches of snow outside, and there was not an Uber to be found. So my genius rode the scooter back, and all that cold air and a snowstorm, it jacked up my throat. So I'm like 5 days out, but Miss Shirley Temper is about to take over. She'll do the podcast today, and then I'll check in with you guys later. All right. Love you guys. Cheers.
Controversial hot take. Who's gonna be my prison bitch when I go to jail for defending all of my trans kids?
Oh, yeah. Who's going to be my prison bitch?
I need a good celly.
It's cute that you both think that you're not going to be the bitch.
Welcome to Teacher Needs a Drink podcast. I am your substitute teacher, Miss Shirley Temper. And when I'm good, I'm good. And when I'm bad, I'm very good. With us tonight, we have some amazing hosts. Up first, everybody's bad nurse, Rosie Rose. Hi, girl.
That's the best introduction I've ever had. Thank you.
Ooh, you're welcome. Oh, my God. And up next is somebody who puts the in sparkles. It's Miss Sparkles.
Hey, y'all.
And we have, unfortunately, Count Chocolate. Sorry.
Hurtful. And I show you nothing but love. Hurtful.
Okay. I don't think that. Anyway. And finally, it is our honor to introduce our new friend, Miss Bo Peep. How you doing, doll?
Doing good. Thanks.
So exciting. Well, I am your substitute teacher tonight because, unfortunately, our darling daddy Elvis is under the weather. He has the laryngitis, and I am going to tell him what I tell everybody. If it hurts your throat, you need to relax your throat and breathe through your nose. That is the secret. And also lots of water. And look yourself in the mirror and remind yourself who's in charge. And it's you.
Hot lemonade.
Exactly.
Hot lemonade.
Exactly. So it's been a crazy week for me. This was my spring break. Is it anybody else's spring break?
Yes.
Mine's over.
Yeah, mine was last week.
Mine is just starting.
This is the last day of mine.
Oh, I had spring break last week, but tomorrow was a bad weather day for me. So I still have one piggyback day off. And of course, like a good teacher, I'm going to be using it, not working on my lesson plans that I should be working on for the week after spring break. This
Proud
was
of you.
Really, well, you know, spring break was really cool for me. I spent a lot of time outside. I did some gardening. I went to therapy for the first time. Woo!
Woo!
right? Trying
support.
to get my brain less stupid.
I support.
Spent a lot of I spent a lot of time with my kids, with Mr. Temper. We went to Houston twice. We went to Houston twice. So tell me about your spring break. Sparkles, did you just say you just finished yours?
Yeah, but it wasn't really a break because we had the statewide competition that many of you also participate in.
How
So
did
I was
that
at
go?
work. Great. We're moving on to the next round in 2 weeks.
Me too.
Yay!
Yay!
But I didn't get to rest. Like I was at rehearsal. We had rehearsal on Sunday. It was some bullshit. So yesterday I got home at 2:00 in the morning. My sweet husband is doing chores. Like Mr. Sparkles is like doing dishes and stuff because I started having an anxiety attack a few minutes ago.
Oh.
With the thought of like cleaning. And he was like, it's okay. Go lie down. So I'm lying down.
That's a good husband.
He's great.
Bo Peep, is it your spring break now or was it last week?
It is. It's currently my spring break, and I'm visiting family for the week, and I'm also participating in that competition. And bittersweet, we lost. But I'm so proud of our students. They did so great, and I, for myself too, really feel like I improved from last year. This is my second year too, and but the part about it, and that me and my partner are also looking forward to, is that we can actually rest during spring break. And we received alternate, which is really cool. So, and the other competitors, did fantastic. So it was, bittersweet. But I'm really proud of everything. And now I just have this, I'm really prioritizing rest. I have a couple small to-do list things, but especially like catching up with family and just having some fun is my main.
Count, did you say this was your spring break or last week was?
Yeah, today is my official last day. We were supposed to have.
How are you feeling about that?
Well, yeah, it was good, but we were supposed to have Monday off, but they took that day back from the inclement weather. So we're back tomorrow, and I'm ready for it. But, I've got the house to myself for a week because being in a house full of educators, apparently my district has spring break, but the rest of the chocolate drops and the Countess are gone on their break. So I'm just here lonely.
Having the house to yourself is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you'll probably get a little squirrely. And Madam Rosie Rose, happy spring break.
Thank you so much. Mine started on Friday. It was a bad weather makeup day, but they did not take it from us. And then I have another the Monday after my spring break that I get to. So I'm like gone for 11 days. I'm pretty stoked about it.
That's awesome.
So Jackson, Mississippi. An assistant principal in Mississippi was fired last week after reading the children's book, I Need a New Butt, to a class of second grade students. Quote, my boss had asked me to set up a Zoom meeting with the second grade classes and the principal at the school they're going to be at next year. And she was going to read to them. And she didn't show. Assistant Principal Toby Price told WLBT. To improvise, Price said his boss told him to read to the students instead. I grabbed one of my favorite books that I had nearby. I read it to them. It's a funny, silly book, Price explained. Price said he had read this book at previous school districts and never had any pushback or complaints. I didn't think twice about reading it because I've never had an issue with it before. There are other books that have much more suggestive material that are much more widely accepted, Price said. According to Price's termination letter from the superintendent at the Hinds County School District, Price showed a lack of professionalism and impaired judgment by picking the book. I just think that, this was pretty harsh reaction. I've been in education for 20 years. I've never had a disciplinary anything put in my file, not even for being late. So I was blown away, Price said. In response to Price's situation, children's books authors, teachers, and librarians have messaged and posted on social media stating the book is hilarious and sweet, joyful and fun, and lighthearted, and that the superintendent's decision was wrong. Now, Price is hoping to overturn their decision, get his job back, and teach others that funny books are needed in education. The superintendent in the school district declined to comment about Price's firing.
Oh, sweet God. I mean, here's the deal. I don't know if you guys are having the same experience as me, but this year has been fucking stupid with parents complaining and students complaining and going straight over my head, not reaching out to me about shit that like 5 years ago they would have, admin would have rolled their eyes and not answered it. I don't know what it is. I blame COVID because I blame everything on COVID. But the amount of policing and stupidity that has started happening, especially with the whole, screening books and books and books, this is just stupid. And imagine going 20 years, and then all of a sudden being like, you're fired. What do you guys think? Rosie?
Okay, so when I read this, I had to go find this book and be like, what is so bad about reading this to a group of second graders? The worst I can see is that like the word fart is in it. But like he's talking about how his butt's broken because he got a butt crack. It's hysterical.
That's really funny.
Like it's a perfect story for that age group. So this man, I don't even know. I don't even know.
What about you, Count?
Look, I love that book. My kids read it. Chocolate Drops love it. Honestly, if I had it like at work, I'd frame it and put it on my desk.
Well,
it is absolutely 100% appropriate for school. It's like an introduction to an like playful anatomy for kids. Like it's not a bad book. I can't believe, like you said, and I've said this before, I think, like when it comes to books, if there was ever a book I wasn't interested in, I just stayed away from that section of the library. Books don't kill people. Books don't harm people. Books provide information. If I don't want the information,
I could probably maim somebody seriously with a book, but kill it would, too much body strength for me. Upper body strength.
Like the complete works of William Shakespeare, maybe. You could drop that from a high enough height, you could murder someone with that.
Slight concussion, perhaps.
Yeah.
What about you, Bo Peep?
I think it's exactly like you said. The fact that he had nothing on his record previously, like even if you do decide that this was a mistake, which I think we've clearly established that it's not, like the fact that this wasn't just a slap on the wrist, it just, I wonder if there's something else going on here. If the superintendent had a problem with this guy for another reason and decided that this was his way to find an excuse to fire him. Yeah.
That's a valid point.
So when I was growing up, I was very, I've talked about this before. I'm from the parenting of benign neglect, right? So my parents didn't monitor what I read. They didn't monitor what I watched on TV. They didn't monitor the music I listened to at all, right? And so I feel like any person who is upset about a book aimed at children about butts is an idiot, because one, small children love butts.
True.
That's like, this is like scientific
so do
fact.
A lot of men.
Yes. Mr. Sparkles is one of them.
Yes.
But small children think anything about butts is hilarious. Like they will say butt at the most random time and they will fall on the floor laughing. They think that shit's hysterical, which
again, it is.
Yeah. So why are we mad because of a butt book? And I agree with him. We do need to have more fun books available to our students, because for some of our kids who are struggling readers or who think they don't like to read, it's maybe because they haven't found something that appeals to them or their sense of humor or whatever. And like, look, if a book about getting a new butt turns a kid into a reader, more power to the butt book. Okay. Like, look, how many of you read your children Everybody Poops?
Me.
I'm saying everybody poops, and maybe the person who is upset about this needs a new butt.
That's what it is. They hate their butt. That's what it
They're
is.
mad about their butt.
Okay, so my 3-year-old nephew just learned the word butt cheek recently from watching Moana, because Maui talks about getting a blow dart in the butt cheek. And so when he first heard it, he goes, butt cheek. And it's like the funniest thing in the world. So I'm not understanding this whole butt thing being a problem.
It's white people who don't have butts. That's what it is.
Okay, well, I'm
it's
a white people that doesn't have a butt, but I'm not insecure about it. Okay.
That's because you're woke. You're enlightened.
Thank you. This is from the Reddits, from user Perfect Illusion 93. It says rant administration. So AP upset about lack of bell-to-bell instruction. Today is the last day before spring break. As such, I planned a free day in all of my classes while I work on finalizing grades. I brought snacks, played music, and socialized with students while I graded. That sounds fun. During my 4th period class, one of the assistant principals, who I don't get along with, drops off one of my students. This student tends to roam the hallways and never attend any of his classes. After walking in, she asks another student, "What are you working on?" And the student responds, "Nothing, we just have free time." Oh God. So the AP walks to where I'm sitting. "Mr. Illusion, your students need an assignment to work on. You know the school expectations for bell-to-bell instruction every day." Me, "Yeah, I know, but we already finished our unit tests and assignments for the quarter. We're just having a relaxing day before spring break." Assistant principal, "You have a class of 20 kids who came to learn today. Find some worksheets or problems for those students to work on. They should at least have those opportunities provided to them." That's how this person now sounds in my head. That's why I read it that way.
I approve.
Thank you. I didn't want to argue any further, so I pulled out my subplans binder and handed out some worksheets from there. The AP stuck around for a little bit trying to get kids to work on the worksheets, but not many of them wanted to work on the worksheets. Many just kept playing on their phones or talking with their classmates. After she left, I just told the class to put the sheets in their binders or throw them in the recycling bin. Like, come on. Other classrooms were having pizza parties and watching movies. I don't know why she expected any different in my classes today. I don't either, you poor man.
Jeez.
I really fucking hate the expression bell-to-bell instruction, because you know what? Instruction is, it's different in every single classroom.
Yes.
And a lot of times when you are trying to set up a project or clean up a project or anything, you need time at the beginning and you need time at the end. So bell-to-bell instruction is just such a bullshit, like educational, hot topic.
You know, this assistant principal is one of two kinds of people. One, she taught for like the mandatory 2 to 3 years before she got her principaling, you know? Or she's like old as fuck and does not remember what it's like to be around a computer. Like she's like, "Oh, computer, what are this? Let's give them worksheets." So she's one of those two. She's not like a well-rounded AP.
And white.
She's 100%. Probably fucking hate her.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she's definitely white. What about you, Count? What are your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions?
Okay, so say I was teacher of the year like 4 or 5 times, right? Never once was I ever a bell-to-bell type of a person, because if you sit and talk to me or talk at me or lecture me or do all history, all math, all science, whatever, for 45, 50 minutes, whatever else, I'm going to lose you by, let's say, September 16th.
Nope, not even. You have about 10 to 15 minutes of their time.
I'm confused. Was that you humble bragging about being teacher of the year a million times?
I never said I'm just saying
he was
it's
saying
hypothetical.
Oh, okay. Because I was like,
because he was
Everyone knows
5-time
boss in the
teacher.
classroom.
No, it's because you were teacher of the year 5 times, not 4.
Not necessarily, but what I'm saying is that you can't teach bell to bell. I understand having kids engaged for the entire class time, but there's not teaching bell to bell instruction. There's shit. No, like adults can't even stay tuned into a faculty meeting for more than 15 minutes, and then you look up and 75% of the staff is on their phone right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it's not gonna happen. Like get in the day before a break. Nah, man, go ahead.
Nope.
Cut that teacher some slack. You shouldn't even have brought it up. And I really hope they didn't bring it up in front of the entire class where all 20 students could hear it. Oh yeah, I'd have had to step in the hallway and have a conversation. Like, you're not gonna come to my class and do
Absolutely.
that. No.
What about you, Bo?
Yeah, if I have learned anything in the past 2 years, it's one, you need to cultivate relationships with students. So moments like this actually are important too, to give them something fun to do. And then for my particular classes, I really need my students to work as a team. So not only do I need to cultivate a relationship with them, but I need them to cultivate relationships with each other. So providing opportunities like that is important. And the other thing is that like kids do not give a fuck too. They don't care that the AP is in the room. They're not going to do a worksheet if they know it's not important. So yeah, I just love the fact that they were trying to encourage them to do the work, and they just didn't care. And then
what kind of assistant principal does a walkthrough like the day before? Like,
yeah,
we hate you.
Oh,
like
I
again,
was gonna
just like in the
say,
other article,
yeah.
I think there's some kind of beef.
So one of my work besties had her observation the day before spring, like we were out for spring break.
Oh man.
And I was like, why do they hate you? Like, what did you do to deserve that?
Nothing.
I just feel like that's rude. That's you're asking for them to fail is what you're doing at that point.
100%. What about you, Mrs. Sparkles?
Like, look, I am a big believer in teacher, do what the fuck you need for your mental health. So are there days where your girl's like, fuck the lesson, we're watching this thing? Yes. Is it still curricular? I mean, I try to make it curricular. I do my best.
But curricular.
Yeah, so I guess, I mean, let's be real. I teach an elective, so I can make almost anything curricular if I really need to justify it. But why are you coming around the day before a break checking on a class? That's some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And like y'all were saying, like, you can't really instruct, quote unquote, from bell to bell, because you've got to take attendance. You've got to sit down. The kids need a chance to do things. Like, and some days, like I've had days where my kids have walked in and I've looked at them and I've been like, y'all just look like you need a study hall day. Like, you just need to sit quietly and work on some other shit. So go for it. And there needs to be that flexibility in our classrooms. That's why all those laws about like, you have to turn in all your lesson plans for the whole school year are bullshit too. Because if something more important happens in the world or in a kid's life, we need that flexibility to say like, you know what? Fuck it. Today's a movie day.
Yes, absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
see, nothing important is going to happen in the world that you can't have on your lesson plans by like June 30th, okay? So you might just need to get that done.
Hey, my friends, did you know that we have a Patreon?
The fuck?
Oh, what?
I did know,
actually.
Sounds dirty.
Ooh. Well, I want to encourage you as your substitute teacher to check out our Facebook page, check out the Patreon. It is just a small little amount every month to make your dreams come true. And that was my Patreon push.
I was like,
Ooh.
is this 1-900 Sex Live?
That's the most
Could
sexy
be.
question we've had yet.
Would you rather pull all the teeth out of your mouth or have sex with your most attractive cousin?
Is it a first cousin?
It doesn't say, and that's going to be my way around it, because no offense, but like my first couple of cousins, there is not an attractive one among them. So if we're talking like seventh cousin, twice removed, yeah, I mean, we're Southern, you know.
Oh, hell no.
So, I'm sorry, you'd rather pull all your teeth out of your mouth or sleep with a hot like ninth cousin?
No, it's the fact that you said we're Southern.
Yeah, there's lots of incest going on here, Pennsylvania. Calm down. I had to sign, or whatever, one of those northern states.
Ohio?
From the great state of Ohio.
Same thing.
Ohio.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know. It's up there. You're a Yankee, but we love
Hurtful.
you. All right, Rosie, teeth or cousin?
So I have a dream pretty annually that my teeth are falling out of my face and I can just pull them out in like giant clumps.
So you're
I
gonna
don't
go with
wanna
teeth?
Do that. No, I don't want to do that in real life. Also, I hate the dentist, and so like pulling my teeth without any anesthesia sounds terrible. So I'm fucking a cousin.
Heyo.
Mhm.
Speaking of fucking cousins, Count, what do you think? I could feel your sadness through the podcast.
I'll never be on here again.
Lies.
All of my cousins are beautiful.
Oh, okay. So you have lots to choose from.
I have 71 first cousins.
Okay.
71?
That's impressive.
But I'm still pulling all my teeth.
Oh. Okay.
And
well,
I'm going to get some good, straight, clean, white, super, super sparkly Steve Harvey big teeth.
Baby, you still need teeth to put those teeth in your face.
Man,
like you know how that works, right?
Listen, I'll pull all my teeth out and I'll get something different. I don't know.
That's a good spin. Like upgrade the teeth.
Yeah.
like shark teeth.
Taking a net gain.
I don't know if I can pull off the shark teeth.
I can sleep with one of your cousins for you if you'd like me to.
Same.
You'd have a long choice of. I'm telling you, like the whole chocolate crew is beautiful.
All right. What about you, Bo
Chocolate
Peep?
cousins.
I would have to go with sleeping with a cousin. And the hardest part about that is, if I'm being totally honest, is that this was an easy pick for me. And I don't know
Same.
if
It's
that's
okay.
me. Yeah.
It's okay. Don't. No judgment.
I'm the same as Count Chocolate. I have like something like that, like 70. And I think that includes second cousins though, but it's like 75 or something like that, just on my mother's side. So yeah. Yeah. And I could just pick one that I don't talk to very often, and then we never speak of it again.
All right, Mrs. Sparkles. Teeth or cousin?
I'm gonna get dentures, so I will be removing my teeth. I'll go get some nice dentures. And
There you go.
that's what we're doing. First of all, I'm on my mom's side. I'm the youngest cousin by a lot. Because I was kind of a surprise. So all of my cousins are a lot older than I am. And then on my dad's side, I think it's mostly girl cousins. I only have like 3 boy cousins, and I don't do ladies. And also, I don't want to have sex with my cousin. That's gross.
Sparkle.
So I'm just going to lose all my teeth. I'll get some dentures.
Okay, but look, okay. My attractive first cousins are all adopted.
Oh,
Oh.
fine.
Oh,
No,
that's
you're fine.
your loophole.
That's a Bunny
They're-
O'Hare
they're
loophole.
cousins. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
cousins by marriage. So none
So
of them
then
are
you're
blood
fine.
related. Yes.
Yeah.
What are you calling
Well,
Bunny
I
loophole?
I do have a really funny joke. That's not really a joke. My dad is an identical twin. And so, identical twins have identical DNA. So technically, my best friend, first cousin, is my cousin and my half sister.
That's
We're
so
sister
weird.
cousins. I know, we're sister cousins. So we joke about being a little inbred all the time, but we are sister cousins, which is kind of cool.
Wow.
All right, this is our ending wrap up thing for our Teacher Needs a Drink podcast. I am your substitute teacher, Miss Shirley Temper. Rosie, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Count Chocolate, how are you? Lonely? Sad?
I am counting down the minutes for this bullying to stop. I am hurt. I am chocolate butt hurt.
All right, Miss Bo Peep, it was so lovely to have you.
It was so lovely to meet all of you. And I took off my pants and I'm still not wearing them. And it's been a great spring break.
Happy spring break! Oh, and Mrs. Sparkles, I'm so proud of you and all your work that you've been doing.
Thank you. It's busy and awesome, but also busy.
It is. And on that note, we do want to remind you to really take care of yourself. I started therapy. It is possible for everyone. Find some support. Don't be afraid to take mental health breaks, take days, take moments, go outside, get some sunshine on your face, find something that you love to do that is not related to your job. I cannot stress that enough. And just know that we're here and we love you. I'm Shirley Temper, and deep breaths, deep drinks, and cheers.
Cheers!
I had a complete brain fart. My
It's
brain
okay, I
said.
did too, because when you yelled to ask what it was, I was like,
All right, folks, thanks for joining us for another episode of Teacher Needs a Drink podcast. I'd like to give a special thank you and shout out to my substitute teacher today, Miss Shirley Temper. She really brought her game today, and I appreciate it because I'm like 3 days past and my voice is still not all the way back. But I love all the hosts and thank them for showing up. Miss Rosie Rose, Count Chocolate, Miss Peep, and Miss Sparkles. I was so happy to see all of them and hear all of them on the podcast, even though I didn't get to participate in it. Anyway, if you have something you'd like to share with us, go ahead and hit us up through the contact page of our website, teacherneedsdrinkpodcast.com. Also, leave a review, subscribe, join our Patreon, do one of those things. Anyway, friends, I can't talk much longer. Love you. Bye.
I don't remember what the sign-off is. What's the sign-off? What's the sign-off?
Deep drinks, deep breath, deep drinks.
Okay, here we go.